But let's move into the next topic, and that is 11 through 20. And you might notice Dave's water bottle if you are a very intent listener. I mean, it is, if you're a good listener, you're probably watching 21 through 30, then 11 through 20, then 1 through 10, and then the expansion relocation one. But if you're watching out of order for some reason, you might notice that from the 30 to 21, and then the 1 to 10, and then 11 through 20, Dave's water bottle has progressively gotten lower, and that's because we have recorded this out of order to make sure we can get our patrons on, John and Sam. So we are glad to. So we might relapse on a couple of these points, but we're going to hit the ones that I know for sure we talked about and we want to talk about. So we're going to do 11 through 20, and we're going to start off by Ricky taking us through his rankings, 11 through 20. Ricky, take it away.
Yeah, starting it all off. Number 20, Hassan Whiteside. Then number 19, JaVale McGee, because Boogie Cousins can't stay healthy. At 18, Wendell Carter Jr. 17, Mitch Robb. Number 16, Sean's boy, Derrick Favors. 15, WCS, Willie Cauley-Stein. Number 14, Enes Kanter. 13, John's boy, Steven Adams. Then at 12, Jonas Valanciunas. And at number 11, Marc Gasol.
All right,
Dave, take us 11 through 20.
At number 20, I've got Jared Allen. At 19th, Wendell Carter Jr. 18th, Dwayne Dedman. At 17, Hassan Whiteside. 16, Derrick Favors. 15, JaVale McGee. Maybe Dwight Howard. At 14, Jonas Valanciunas. At 13, Enes Kanter. At 12, DeAndre Ayton. And at 11, Andre Drummond.
I forgot he's a fucking Grizzly. He needs
the extra J.
Jonas Valanciunas.
Yep.
Love it, for the Memphis Grizzlies. Let's move in.
I'm sure they love this every single position I do this.
Before we do,
can we just change
yours,
the Grizzly to a J?
yeah.
It's like GIF though. GIF.
Before we get into yours, I told Dave
the actual
this
Grizzly
yesterday.
is to the letter J.
Someone who liked one of our Twitch tweets yesterday. His whole Twitter account was Brandon Clark for MVP.
Oh yeah.
So there's a Brandon Clark MVP push.
Who?
A Jandon Jark.
A Jandon Jark.
A Jandon Jark.
A JVP push.
Jost Valuable Jodcast. Jost
JVJ.
Valuable Jayer. That doesn't make any sense.
He hits those J's, man.
11 through 20. At 20, I have Vic Zubac. At 19, I have JaVale McGee. At 18, I have Bam Adebayo. At 17, I have Mitchell Robinson. At 16, I have Steven Adams. At 15, I have Jonas Valanciunas. At 14, I have Jarrett Jalen. At 13, I have Genus Janter. At 12, I have Jopez.
Now you're just getting carried
at 11,
away.
I have Jark Gasol, former Memphis Grizzly.
Forgot the R, man.
Let's move into the cumulative rankings, and I'll say it like their actual names. At 20, we have Hassan Whiteside of the Portland Trailblazers. At 19, we have Willie Cauley-Stein, now of the Golden State Warriors. At 18, we have Jared Allen, who is a star in the 21 through 20 segment of the Brooklyn Nets. At 17, we have Mitchell Robinson of the New York Knicks. At 16, we have JaVale McGee of the Los Angeles Lakers. At 15, we have Jonas Valanciunas of the Memphis Grizzlies. At 14, we have Derrick Favors, now of the New Orleans Pelicans. At 13, we have Enes Kanter, now of the Boston Celtics. At 12, we have Steven Adams of the Oklahoma City Thunder. And at 11, we have Splash Mountain himself, Brook Lopez of the Milwaukee Bucks. Guys, we've talked a lot about these players already. We'll get to Derrick Favors a little bit. We'll get to Steven Adams. We'll get to Derrick Favors and Steven Adams in the 1 through 10 segment. We'll talk about them a little bit here too. And we got to Jared Allen already in the 21 through 20. But one guy that is new to this list, totally, has never been on this list, is in his second year and is already at 17. And probably even John said that he wants him higher. Mitchell Robinson of the New York Knicks. What a showing for this second-round player last year. What went into your guys' mindset of Ricky, you putting him at 17, and Dave, you putting him at 21? What did you like from Mitchell Robinson last year?
I mean, the thing I love most about him is just his defensive, like what he brings to the game defensively, and then his reboundings, but more importantly, that defensive side. Like, he is the two things I look for from a center is, like, if you can shoot the three, that's a little cherry on top, but it's rebounding and defense. And you've got to be the guy that if someone is going to drive into the lane, I'm a 90s guy, so knock him on his ass, but I know you can't do that anymore. But you got to be the stonewall. You are the last line of defense, and that's what Mitch Rob can be for this Knicks team.
I mean, Mitch Robinson does knock people on their ass because he bites on every single pump fake in existence. And look, I love this kid. I loved him in high school when we heard about the whole college situation going down, Sean, myself, and Ricky all were pretty much in the loop as far as where his talent meant he should be going, and we correctly predicted kind of where that would line up in the NBA draft. Shame that he still fell to the second round. Scott should listen to us, just saying. Just toss out there. We're just geniuses on this end.
Absolute geniuses. If I had to look at us three bozos and clowns, I would totally describe us as geniuses.
Yeah.
As we're saying Jemphis Drizzlies.
As I put up a old screenshot of us in the tinfoil hat.
Yes. Yes. This is just consistency. Hey, if Man Genius got a nickname, we can take it too.
Yeah.
But no, like, the kid is so athletic and he's so strong and passionate. Any shot that goes up near him, he's going to swipe at. Didn't he have like an 8-block game last year?
Something
was that a 6 or 8? It was somewhere in that range, and it was hilarious.
Probably had 5 fouls too.
Oh yeah, he fouled out probably. He fouled out. The man, like I said, I'm joking, but not really, because he does hit people. He's just a contact magnet.
But even then, it's not like he's just a rim protector, because he was flying everywhere.
Oh yeah, no,
like
he can guard anything.
I know this is a name that could either mean like you're putting him in hallowed honors here, or you're just putting him into a guy that's overrated. But he pulled a Zion. He literally jumped from the block and jumped all the way out to a guy that was shooting a 3 and blocked it. Like, there was a moment that he absolutely did that, closed out from the opposite block on a guy that started his shooting motion and came over and stuffed the shit out of the ball.
Yeah.
He is a fiend for the block. And we're looking at this stuff, and I agree with John, and he's going to talk about it in 1 through 10. Defense is probably the most important part of this whole rankings. I understand you're going to be like, well, Jokic is a worse defender than Joel Embiid. Again, like I said,
is that what I sound like?
Yes, it's what fans sound like.
Oh,
but like just everyone that's not Embiid fans, and no, strictly Joel Embiid fans.
Okay.
No, but like I said, Embiid, one-on-one playground basketball, he's a better defender. But Jokic is good enough defensively to team-wise to be up there in the competition with Embiid, and then the offense sets him apart. So it's not like he's a bad defender.
Yep.
He's a very good basketball defender when it comes to team defenders. Mitchell Robinson, one of those guys that can take you in the playground. But to at least go to your point of his most blocks in a game, I'm trying to pull it up. This computer's absolutely slow. But he did average 3.3 blocks per game. He had 5 games of 5+ blocks, 1 to 2 blocks in 29 games, and 3 to 4 blocks in 25 games. His block high was 9 against Orlando, and he only had 2 personal fouls, and he had 9 blocks in 22 minutes. Pretty damn insane.
Yeah, I remember that game because I just remember the number. Like, after I hit 5, I got an ESPN alert, and I was like, all right, what is going on in this game?
Well, here's the thing is, I'm looking at his game log, and it says game log summary, and it gives you all the times that he scored like 10 to 19 points in like 22. And it says for 7, it says 0. So I was like, oh, Dave just misremembered. He had 6. No, he had 9, and they don't have a spot for 9 blocks. They just didn't put it there because it wasn't 7. It was fucking 9. It's insane. But yeah, no, he's incredible, and I'm really excited to see what he can do. What's the biggest thing you think he needs to add, Dave? Is it just, better prowess defensively and making sure he reins in those fouls, or do you think it's more of an offensive game?
No, it's the fouls. I mean, he fouled out
8 times.
8 games. He had 5 fouls another 7 times, it looks like. I mean, it's just he needs to be able to be on the court more, and that's all it comes down to is when he gets out there. If you look at his minutes played, like, yes, as the season goes on, it should go in the right direction, but unfortunately, like, there's a lot of times where he's just short stints, and you have to kind of pick and choose your moments as a player. And he takes the bait a lot of the time because he's a young one. He's ambitious. He wants to go out there and get his and prove that he's the guy. And that's fantastic. And I love him for it. But at the same time, you got to rein it in just a smidge. You got to be one of those guys because you're one of the faces of the franchise.
For sure.
What are you over there?
15 times he had 5 or more fouls. In one game, November 18th, he played a total of 8 minutes. And had 5 fouls.
Yeah.
Incredible stuff there from Mitchell Robinson.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, no, it's crazy that
he's got such upside, though.
Yeah.
And that's what's incredible. I mean, the Knicks gave us some of the best moments last year between him just blocking the shit out of everything, the 9-block game, Mara Hazonia just absolutely making LeBron look like a bitch, making Giannis look like a bitch. It's just, I wish the Knicks as a whole had more to give because he's in a position this year where they've loaded up that front court. And I am a little bit concerned about how how and if it could hurt his growth because you're adding an offensive powerhouse in Julius Randle. So does that mean that we're not going to see him, develop his offensive skill set because he can kind of lean on Julius to carry that load?
Yeah, well I think I kind of like
ain't gonna run through him either.
Well, yeah, it's definitely going to run through it. It didn't last year, but I think the biggest thing that I like is now that you have another guy that can score down low, I think it really opens him up to learn to be a pick and roll guy, and I think you literally just mold him into what prime DeAndre Jordan was. If you're able to get him into, because he's a similar body type, he needs to add up a little bit more muscle to get up to DeAndre level, or at least a little bit more leaner. But I mean, that guy didn't have a college program. He came straight out of high school. He committed to Western Kentucky, then didn't go. But like he didn't have a full like weight training program, and now he has that with the Knicks. And I think it's really interesting to see what his body can actually add on to. And he's a guy that, he has the body, he has everything to do so, and I think it's only skies up for him. But Ricky, let's go to you and. Really, 11 through 15, it's kind of the...
One more thing about Mitch Robinson before I move on is you asked Dave, like, what could he need to improve this year? To me, is rebounds. Because the thing I think he can do if he has a skyrocketing of, like, I'm going to haul in all the rebounds under the earth, he could be in the discussion for Defensive Player of the Year. He's got the DPM, the defensive plus minus. He's got the blocks per game that Gobert had last year. He just didn't have the rebounding.
To at least help you out there, I mean, I think it's more of their impact on a game, and I think the fouls is what kills him the most. He's not a great defender
his
yet.
per 36 numbers aren't realistic because of that.
He's a very good blocker, but he's not. I don't think he's a great defender yet because of what we were talking about earlier. His trigger happiness of going after blocks too much. And I was going to bring up the per 36, Dave, like what you're going to say, because per 36, 11 rebounds, which is pretty damn good. But like 4 blocks a game, he's not going to average 4 blocks a game in 36 minutes and only play 20 minutes a game. So we didn't get a full representation of what he can do out there defensively. But hell, you look back on that year, over 150 blocks and over 50 steals, pretty damn good. So the counting stats are there. I don't think he's fully there yet, at least defensively, but he's definitely on a fast track up these rankings. But like I was going to say, 16 through 20 is kind of these long, jumpy boys, right? They're the guys who are long and they're skinny. They could dunk, they could rebound, and they could block. And then 11 through 15, you have these smoother guys that have more different assets to their game. They aren't just guys that set picks and grab offensive boards, and that's where they gain their buckets. Let's stick in the long, jumpy boys at least. JaVale, Mitch Robinson, Jared Allen, Willie Cauley-Stein, Hassan Whiteside. Who do you think will make the most impact for their team this year? Maybe not the best player, but who do you think will have the biggest impact, whether that be towards a championship or towards a playoff push? Who do you think will be the most impactful?
I'm going to shock you here. Hassan Whiteside. And the reason why I say that is...
That's my pick.
That was also my pick.
Change of scenery.
Shit.
A, change of scenery. B, that team needs someone to play down low with Nurkic. A, Nurkic being injured still, and B, Enes Kanter not being there anymore with his help that he had during the playoffs. I don't want to stand on the soapbox and say Hassan Whiteside's going to be back this year, but I'm curious to see what he's going to bring to that Portland team, and if a change of scenery, just not being in Miami and not having to play Joel Embiid every other game was going to help him.
I mean, I agree. Hassan Whiteside he needs that push, and I'm hoping Portland is the right environment for him. At least for half the year.
Especially playing with a guy like Dame.
At least for half the year, because there are talks over there about we'll use him until Nurkic gets back, and then we'll ship his ass out of town. I don't know if that's true or not, but I will say that it's not bad to have someone who can come in and block every shot and is a decent scorer next to the rim. Like he is a good player. The contract just in context makes him look bad, I think, at times.
Well, then maybe this is probably just on our end, because you did have Hassan Whiteside above Mitchell Robinson. Ricky and I did not. Ricky had Mitchell at 17 and Hassan at 20, and I had Mitch at 17 and Hassan at 24. I think the biggest reason why Hassan will do that is just because of the place that he is in, and it's not really anything that is to do with Hassan Whiteside. Because if he was in Miami, I think he'd probably be around 24, because I just don't think he had his head in the game. And I don't know if he'll exactly have his head in the game with Portland, but I do think he'll have the biggest impact because, let's be honest, Mitchell Robinson isn't playing for a playoff team. So the biggest thing that he needs to do is just work on himself. JaVale McGee, he might not even be the center by December if Dwight Howard's healthy. clearly Dwight Howard's a better player than JaVale McGee. But JaVale McGee was fantastic last year, but he's
in
not
limited minutes.
He's not.
That was a problem.
Yeah, he's not the star, and even then, JaVale McGee can easily get booted out if Dwight Howard's healthy or if they move Anthony Davis to the 5. So, I mean, JaVale McGee is pretty expendable. I don't think they're going to win a championship because of JaVale McGee. Willie Cauley-Stein, he could be interesting in Golden State because I think he's probably the best big they've had in a while. Probably since Prime Bogut.
Probably since DeMarcus Cousins.
But he wasn't healthy.
Playoff DeMarcus Cousins. Don't care.
I don't think DeMarcus lived up to the hype.
I love
at
the
least for
watch
Golden
look.
State. I would say Prime Bogut was more impactful than DeMarcus was.
Whatevs.
If they didn't have Prime Bogut
on that team, I agree.
If they didn't have Prime Bogut, they wouldn't have won a championship.
I agree.
They didn't win a championship with Bogut. So
Willie Cauley-Stein is a motivational problem. Same as Hassan Whiteside. That man did not try, and it was apparent.
And that's why I think with the Warriors, I think Cauley-Stein might get lost a bit. I think they usually typically lose their 5s, and a big thing that you need to do as a 5 in that system is be able to pass, and I really have not seen that in his game. Where Whiteside, he doesn't really need to do that, and obviously Nurkic being able to pass takes him up to the next level, but I think he can very much survive in Portland being a 5 that can run and stretch the floor and grab boards, because these aren't, Dame isn't like Russ and CJ isn't like James Harden, where they do have bigger bodies and go up and grab boards. They need someone to grab those boards and then start the fast break, and that is what Hassan Whiteside could do. So while I don't think that Hassan Whiteside can typically play up to this level, I do think that he's a great fit in Portland. I think another reason, too, I ranked him a little bit lower is because Nurkic is going to come back, and that's going to hurt his output. But I think for what he can do in his time in Portland, for however long that may be, will be very important to that team.
Because you brought up Willie Cauley-Stein, and we were kind of talking a little bit about the Warriors, do you think then Willie Cauley-Stein is the center all year, or do we see a Kevon Looney get injected into a starting lineup at the 5?
I don't think it matters. They'll probably rotate him
at
some point.
Question.
Yeah, I know.
He's getting there. He said they rotate him.
Yeah.
It's more of, what has Stein produced? I mean, if Stein is a guy that is giving them concerted effort, I think he will be out there.
He's got
he has
so much talent. That's the thing that kills me, is like you watch his highlight tapes, his best games. If you look at like what he's putting out there, he's got all the talent in the world. It's just
he went 5th overall.
He doesn't turn it on all the time. And last year was a contract year, and everybody's like, "Oh, he's gonna do it this year." You get that sprinkling, and that's all.
Willie Contract Stein.
It's really Cauley-Stein. It's still like, I'm sorry. I got that college, I want him to be that guy that we hope for. But, Golden State with low expectations this year might be a good place for him to rise up and shine, because they need somebody else to step up. You're hoping, between Steph staying healthy and D'Angelo Russell, you're going to get your punch of offense. But everybody's expecting Draymond to be that third guy. Maybe we get surprised here, and he plays his way into something special.
Yeah, but with that, I think it's just going to be reliant then on them being a heavy pick and roll offense, because then you're going to need him and Draymond to set those pick and rolls for D'Angelo and Steph. And you do have two guys that can set him up. D'Angelo showed that he was a very good passer last year. And Steph has obviously been a good passer throughout his career. So, I mean, if they're in a situation where they can put him going towards the basket and he is fully energized and he is going towards the bucket, he could put the ball in. I mean, he can. When I thought he was drafted, I thought he could be a DeAndre Jordan type. But he's really fallen off there, where, if Mitchell Robinson doesn't keep up that aggression and he's able to hone it in and keep that aggression up, he can become a DeAndre Jordan, where Cauley-Stein doesn't have that aggression night in, night out. So if he is able to have that aggression, he can be someone that can be impactful for this team. I just haven't seen enough out of it. And like Dave said, I don't think the offense will go through him, like he said. I don't think he will be that third option. I think it's going to be heavily on Steph, D'Lo, and Draymond Green. That's why I'm high on Draymond Green this year, at least. But I think Cauley-Stein could be impactful, but I wouldn't be shocked if Kevon Looney did get rotated into this rotation and did get some starts throughout the season. We don't really need to talk about JaVale that much, because it's really at the mercy of LeBron. If he doesn't piss off LeBron and he is good in limited minutes, he's going to play. Yeah. And he's proven that he can be impactful.
Yeah, it was just when he got, he got hurt. He was unhealthy.
And when he's healthy, he's been impactful for the past couple of years. I mean, he played well with Golden State. He played well in the finals for Golden State. So if he's healthy and he's not able to get on the bad side of LeBron, he'll do what JaVale does. It's just JaVale is limited, and he is a long jumpy boy. But he's the best out of the long jumpy boys.
You're Shaqtin' a Fool games out of him as well.
Yeah.
Like, that's a guarantee to you just roll with it.
But that's why, he had so much hype from Denver. Like, everyone loves what JaVale McGee can do because he's extremely athletic, and that's, again, why he is the highest out of the long jumpy boys. But let's go to these more skilled guys in Brook Lopez, Steven Adams, Enes Kanter, Derrick Favors, Jonas Valanciunas. Some of these guys, more bruisers, like Steven Adams and Jonas Valanciunas. Enes Kanter, offensive god. Brook Lopez, Splash Mountain. Derrick Favors, the most underrated center in the league. What are your guys' thoughts on these guys? Who's the crop of players that you're looking out from 11 through 15?
To me, it's Brook Lopez, and that's why, for me, you haven't heard him yet in my rankings. You'll hear him in 1 through 10 is because he's a special one of, like, can he fit on every single team? No, he's not going to do exactly what he did last year on every team. But with the Bucks, he is a super valuable 5 to where I was like, you know what? With what he brings to that Bucks team, fuck yeah, he's a top 10 center in the league.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's the impact on the team that makes the difference for me. He unlocked himself when he took that step on the Nets to learn to shoot threes. He got moved over to the Lakers in that D'Lo contract dump deal.
Yeah.
And it was a win-win at the time. I'm sure Lakers fans regret that shit now. But it was kind of surprising because they didn't utilize him well on the Lakers. So when the Bucks could pick him up for a steal of a contract for someone with his ability, like, it unlocked Giannis. Like, we got to see a different level. And, of course, this also tag on the adding an amazing coach to the system as well.
The
Helps.
Budenholzer.
When you get, wide open threes for days and you have 4 guys out, like Giannis crashing the net, yeah, good luck. Good luck. So Brook Lopez being able to take, 6-7 threes a game and reliably hit them at league average or better, like, no, that's so valuable. That's incredible for 7-footer to be able to do that because he can turn around on the other side and play the smart center role. He's not going to bang heavy on the low post, but you know what? He's going to put himself in good positions. He's got decent footwork. Yeah, I know he's not the quickest guy out there, but he's smarter than a lot of these younger centers are.
Well, for you guys, then, I want to throw this out there. How much for centers is it important for the system? Like Brook, if Brook wasn't in the system, it might not have made Brook.
No, absolutely.
So what do you think about the system making the center? We talked a little bit about with Embiid before. We've talked
Jokic
about
for
it.
sure.
I'm sorry, Jokic before.
Yeah.
It was the Embiid versus Jokic debate. But we've seen before that being in the right system, like DeAndre in Los Angeles, the system kind of made the center. How important do you think that is in today? That finding the right system is probably the most important thing for the centers. Do you think that's a fair point to make?
Yeah, I don't think it's not the system fitting around the center. It's the center fitting into said system. And I know some people are going to say, well, Ricky, that sounds very much like the same thing.
Tomato?
No, where it's like, to me, fitting around it is, hey, I have you, I am going to build around you, which that's not the center to me.
Except for
the
one.
center to me, except for maybe, one.
2.
To me, the center position is, I have this system. How does this peg fit into? Are you the triangle that fits in the triangle, or am I trying to slam that square into this triangle hole? And it's like, that's where I feel like do we have the guys like Jokic and Embiid where, like, yes, you can say some of it is system, but also they're really good basketball players. So, like, there's a reason why they're in the next segment that we're going to talk about. Whereas these guys, it's more of like, you've kind of got to be that either Swiss Army knife kind of a player, or you got to be like, hey, I do what a center does, but I also can give you this other X factor that no one else can. I can grab you boards, I can play some defense, but hey, I can also do this that other 5 can't do.
Yep.
That's what's important to the center nowadays.
Do you agree with that, Dave? Is there anything you kind of disagree with?
I think a lot of it, I do agree with a good portion of that, Ricky. I think you're spot on because it's the value that the NBA and the front office has placed on the wing. Like, if this was 20 years ago, the center role, I think this list could be completely jumbled up at this point because of how centers were used in the league and how well front offices built teams around. It was always, you build around the center because that's the center of your team. That's the guy who's going to get you the reliable buckets night in, night out. And as the NBA's evolved and we've become so wing dominant, so guard dominant, like, I feel like we've devalued the role of a center in offense. And almost for a portion of these guys, we put them in a box. We're like you said, you're long in it. You're a long jumpy boy. Like, you're a rim runner. Like, we've got nicer terms than long jumpy boy, but you're a rim runner. Like, your job is to be able to run up and down the court at a high rate, get rebounds, and catch can catch alley-oops. Like, that's it. And like, we put them in this box. Like, I'm sure these guys could do more if we asked more out of them, but it's just not the case at this point in time.
Here's the thing. With all that, you set me up beautifully because I asked you a question a little bit long ago. Who are these guys? What are these guys are making you the most excited?
Yeah.
And you guys already know my answer.
Yeah.
It's Derrick motherfucking Favors.
Derrick
Favors.
I like Derrick
Favors.
motherfucker Favors.
Yeah.
Kind of like,
Derrick
what was it?
motherfucking-
from Horrible Bosses.
Jones.
Motherfucker Jones.
Derrick motherfucking Favors. This guy has been. People are probably going to cringe at that. I don't really give a shit.
What, Derrick motherfucker Favors?
No, Derrick motherfucker Favors because it's like, oh, you're just starting to swear. It's fair. Anyways, Derrick Favors has been absolutely slept on. And you talk about being in the right system. He is finally in the right system. He was forced in Utah to be a 4. He was their 4th most talented player. They needed him out on the floor. They're like, you are a 4. You need to play the 4. Congrats, you are a 4. Congratulations. Now you need to learn how to shoot a 3. That was not his game. He wasn't a guy that needed to be pulled away from the basket, but he needed to be in Utah because Gobert couldn't move away from the basket offensively, right? So I look at Derrick Favors and now being able to play with Lonzo Ball, who can move the ball around and can play beyond the perimeter. Drew Holiday, who is a top 20 player in the NBA and is a great perimeter player. Zion Williamson, who we talk about, a guy who can attack from the wing and down low, and he could do everything for you. He can rebound, he can pass, he could be on any part of the floor and probably score 3 points. A little bit iffy, but hey, he was decent in college.
Passable.
And you look at the small forward position, it's Brandon Ingram. And Brandon Ingram is a guy that can play outside in the perimeter. So what's that going to do? It's going to open up space for Derrick Favors. And this guy is finally right place, right situation. And you might worry a little bit that he's not playing next to Rudy Gobert. But even without Rudy Gobert, he was able to hold his own defensively. He has a career defensive rating of 103.
It's incredible.
That's elite. And Dave, I want to ask you a question. And Ricky, you can even try to answer this question as well.
Thanks.
Sure. You're part of this too.
In the past, in the past 2 seasons, there have been 4 players who have played over 3,000 minutes and had an offensive rating over 120 and a defensive rating under 105. Can you name those 4?
120, 105.
Elite of the elite. Elite status.
I'm going to guess that one might have been the guy playing next to him in Rudy Gobert.
Correct.
Yeah, because I knew that tandem was phenomenal.
129, 100 for Gobert. And again, I'm not making an argument that Favors is better than Gobert. I had Gobert at 4 and I had Favors at 8.
Wow.
If you're telling me which guy would I rather have, I'd rather have Gobert without a doubt.
Yeah, that's defense player of the year shit.
Gobert.
Knowing you, it's Jokic.
No.
Wow.
Jokic is not on there. Jokic doesn't have the defensive rating, I don't think.
Are the other 2 centers? Mm-hmm. Oh shit.
No, they're on the list.
So I'm gonna go.
Are they?
No, sorry. One should be a center. One's not a center right now. He's not in our center rankings.
Horford.
No.
Oh, that's
Good
when
guess.
you said
Good
when
guess.
you said not a center. I was like, oh, Al
Good
Horford.
guess. It's a very good guess.
Anthony Davis,
Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
One more. Well, 2 more.
who's a center.
You didn't guess the other 2. Just 2 more.
I feel
Well,
like
you said his other teammate, so you did guess Derrick Favors. Derrick Favors
I
is
knew
one
it
of
was
them.
Derrick Favors,
There's one
yeah.
more. It's Clint Capella. So Anthony Davis,
I was
Rudy
gonna say
Gobert,
Clint
Clint
Capella,
Capella, and Derrick Favors are all on this list. And let's see, Clint Capella, number 7. Rudy Gobert, number 4. Anthony Davis would most likely probably be 3, 2, or 1. He's definitely top 3.
Yep.
Probably in the second spot for me, above Joel Embiid.
I mean, last year
kidding.
he was a unanimous number 1
He'd be
for
number
all
1.
of us.
I was gonna say,
It was a joke, Ricky. But Anthony Davis would be 1 on this list. Capella's 7. Gobert's 4. But Derrick Favors is at 14. For what reason?
Honestly, I'm concerned about his fit. You say it's perfect,
It's
and
perfect.
you're dreaming this into reality. I'm seeing a team where he's going to overlap with Zion Williamson because Zion is a roamer on defense, and I wonder how well that's going to complement him. And I wonder if they're going to flip to a different lineup at various points of the game because they have so much depth where they can play with that as an option. And that's my concern. Is just Zion being Zion. Is I don't know what to expect out of him, but what I saw work for him in college is not having someone like Derrick Favors out there with him. And I don't know if Derrick Favors'
He had big centers out there.
speed matches this team's play style.
Gotcha.
Because that is a run and gun with Zion and having Lonzo Ball out there. That is very quick pace offense.
One more thing that throws a wrench into this. He blew us away at Summer League.
He's not, no.
Jackson Hayes.
No, he's too raw.
I'm not saying he's going to start, but if this season, like, we're not expecting the Pelicans to make the playoffs, They drafted Jackson Hayes for a reason, to become their center.
Yeah.
I want to see what leaps and
a bridge
bounds
2
he
years.
takes in his first year and how that may affect Derrick
He did
Favors.
murder man in Summer
We
League.
talked about it's Summer League, guys. Let's first off say it's Summer League.
Murdered a
and,
man.
and second off,
bull.
They
there's
made
two.
a family.
There's one guy that, again, this is kind of like the Bruno Fernando thing in a little bit of different fashion.
Yeah.
Jackson Hayes, we always talked about this guy can't even rebound, right?
Yep.
So that's one thing too. He was a very poor rebounder in college. He needs to grow on that aspect, and he
Yep.
also needs to learn the NBA system, right? So
And he's got to
Okafor
worry about somebody in front of him.
Yeah, Okafor's already played with Alvin Gentry, so most likely he's going to get more minutes.
20 and 10 rolling out of bed.
And Derrick Favors has been in the league since he was 19, and now he's going to be 28. So this is a guy that's been in multiple systems. He knows how to play in the NBA. Favors and Okafor are going to get the minutes out there. The one thing that Hayes does bring over Okafor and Favors is speed, and that is something that he will bring. But he doesn't have an NBA body yet, and I don't think he has the knowledge of a true NBA system yet. Because, yes, you do have Zion, who is a phenomenal rebounder, but they don't have the ability to have size out there, I think, because he'd get pushed around by a lot of these centers that are on this list.
Yeah,
So I
everybody
don't
else
think
is pretty
it's
thin. I mean, when your small forward is literally skin and bones,
Yeah.
you know, he's tall, but he's just not strong, you know?
And I'm glad you brought up the small forward, because Jackson Hayes is going to be there at some point, and Favors, I think, is only on a 2-year deal. So it's at some point it will be Jackson Hayes' time to shine. But there's a reason Favors is in here, and that's the reason, is because he knows how to play. He knows how to play well, and he knows how to play center in the NBA. But you brought up the small forward, Brandon Ingram. What's an underrated skill about Brandon Ingram?
I mean, underrated skill about him.
Yeah. Underrated that people probably don't think about right away, but it's one of his best skills.
His ball handling ability?
Ball handling ability.
Yeah.
Right?
The man can run an offense.
He's fantastic in the pick and roll.
Yeah, he is.
And you know who is a fantastic pick and roll partner for him? Last year, Derrick Favors.
Oh, shit.
Jingles.
I walked into that.
So you have 6'9" forwards that can ball handle, that can dish, that can abuse people in the pick and roll. I think Favors is going to be fine on that, and even then, Zion is very comfortable as a ball handler, and Zion with a full head of steam, you get stopped, then yes, you don't have that exact speed going head-to-head with Zion, but you do have a trailer, and Zion, trailing with a trailing Favors, it's going to be hard to stop.
Yeah,
so,
who's going to stand in the way of that and need a charge?
So I understand maybe in the fast break it might be a little bit rough that you'll be playing 4 on whatever.
Yeah.
If you are running, because Favors will be trailing, but also you have Zion Williamson and Lonzo
Lonzo
Ball.
Ball. And if that can't get it done,
Brandon
nothing
Ingram.
can.
Exactly. So I'm not too worried about their fast break offense. In the half court, I think they're going to be an absolute beauty, because I think when they do want to run Favors, they will run they'll run it with Ingram and Zion setting up plays for Favors, or setting up plays for those guys. And then if they're not using Favors, they will make sure that he is around the rim to grab offensive boards, and then they'll be using his body as well to set up screens. Yeah. So I really love Favors. I think he is absolutely what Ricky was saying earlier, going probably 11 minutes back now. He is triangle in a triangle hole and not a circle in a triangle hole.
Maybe
he
I'm
is
sleeping
absolutely
on him.
fit in the spot.
I'll admit.
And
I got him at 16. I'm probably sleeping on him a little bit because he's just been under the shell of Gobert so long.
Yeah, and I understand. And Dave, 2018, he was 16 in our power forward rankings. I had him at 14. In 2017, he was 18 in our power forward rankings. I had him at 13. So I've been consistent with that. And then 2016, he was number 6, and I had him at 6.
That was his best year by far.
And Ricky had him at 8. So who had him higher? Dave Oster. So you are sleeping on him. You were on the Derrick Favors bandwagon back in 2016, and you fell off. So I think people are sleeping on Derrick Favors. I really think they should look into him. He's great. I think that's why he was a top 5 pick coming out of college. But any other guys that you want to talk about? Kanter in a new position. Jonas Valanciunas was in a new position last year after Gasol. Those are the 2 guys we haven't talked about. If you want to talk about
Kanter's
them, if
another...
not, we can move on.
Yeah, Kanter's an interesting one, just because the whole Celtic team in general, and also it's like he in New York, he loved his time in New York and kind of had a little bit of like a revitalization. Had a really big one in Portland, being traded over there. Nurkic goes down. He's kind of like I don't want to say he didn't have a purpose with the Knicks, but like I have a purpose. Like
he had more fun probably at the media stand in New York than he did playing the game.
Exactly.
But at the same time, Portland, man was driven.
But I don't know what to expect from the Celtics when it comes to Kanter, mainly because of the whole question I have about the Celtics, like in general. I know they're going to make the playoffs. I just don't know where they're going to. Are they going to be like a 4? Are they going to be a 5? Are they going to be competing? I don't know.
Dave, take your turn on shitting on the Celtics, and I'll back them up.
Why would you assume that I'm going to shit on the Celtics?
every time throughout these whole rankings, I've been high on the Celtics, and you're like, nope, fuck that.
Fuck that.
You say no, fuck that, and I will come in and back Enes Kanter.
Well, look, the Celtics couldn't rebound. That's been the problem for like a decade, right?
I actually have Kanter the lowest.
That man's got Kanter.
You
the
guys
lowest.
have him at 13. I have him at
14.
See, appropriately ranked. Sean.
I didn't say you're gonna shit on Kanter. I said you're gonna shit on the Celtics. So continue to shit on the Celtics.
I think he's actually a welcome fit for the Celtics team because he adds a little bit of toughness. He adds a little bit of fight to this team because they had Aaron Baines, who like top 3 most hateable player in the NBA.
Oh yeah,
I'll
that's
just say
grit.
it. That man. Oh, that man. But Enes Kanter.
Here's the thing: they had Kelly Olynyk, who was breaking bones out there before, and it's about Olynyk is more likable than Aaron Baines.
Yeah, I'm telling you. But no, like Kanter adds something to this team with that playoff run. That's the lasting image in my brain, and that's what I loved about him was he was playing hurt, he was gritty, he was passionate, he's screaming at guys on the court, and he's getting his, and that's what made the biggest deal was like when he's going all in for rebounds and shit like that. That's the kind of guy you want on a team, and like I don't often say that about Enes Kanter because like this was the offensive only guy who basically didn't even give a fuck about playing defense in OKC. He was like,
well,
that's not why you
Adams
brought
was
me
the
here.
defense,
We're the
Kanter's
Stash
the
Bros.
offense.
Yeah. You just tape us back to back. We're good. We're solid. But no, I think on the Celtics, it feels like a good fit for him. And it feels like a good fit for the Celtics team because they're going so wing heavy, but nobody in that wing group is an excellent rebounder.
Yep.
I think that he's actually a solid fit for them.
Well, here's the thing that I love. What was Kanter's best moments? When he got traded from Utah to OKC. That was 2014, 2015.
I guess.
He was playing, and it was his best moments was that year. He put up 18 points coming back over.
Yeah.
And even throughout his whole Oklahoma City time, he averaged 14 points a game. That's the most he's averaged in his career. Yep. And I think we remember the Portland stuff so fondly because it was in our head, but when they made that trade, that Kanter trade was an absolute robbery of Utah. And the thing that I love about that is now he's going back to a place with a very skilled guard and a very skilled set of wings, just like KD, just like Russell Westbrook. And not to that level. They don't have a KD out there. They don't have a Russ out there. But they have an extremely great guard in Kemba Walker. And they have Gordon Hayward, who can be a great passer. They have Jason Tatum, who can be a great passer. Jaylen Brown's a good all-around player. Mm-hmm. I think for Kanter, it's the best situation for him in a long while. And we talked how well Portland was for him. I think he's going to be a great fit here. And he's not going to be a great fit in the sense of, how Al Horford was, because Al Horford let them, provide some stretch. They're going to need to rely on that in their 4-wing rotation, but they will have the ability to have a bruiser down there, a great rebounder, and a guy that's going to bring passion. And Ricky, you brought this up earlier, the whole Embiid versus Jokic thing. We don't see Jokic really acting out much. You know the one guy who could get Jokic to react was?
Yeah.
Enes Kanter. Jokic tried to rip his arm out in the postseason. People don't talk about that, and I try to bury it, but I'm going to bring it up here because Kanter is a guy.
I try to bury it.
Kanter is a guy that can get under guys' skin. And
kind of stick in their craw a little bit.
Without a doubt. I mean, he got under the whole government of Turkey's skin. Like, Jesus Christ, this guy is...
He taunts them.
He is ridiculous. A talker, and it's awesome. He wants to become a professional wrestler. I am here for it.
See, this is why awesome. I love Joel Embiid too. I'm just saying. It's that extra X factor, man.
Kanter's different from Kyrie, where Kyrie was a talker, but no one wanted to listen to Kyrie talk. I want to listen to Enes Kanter talk because this guy is phenomenal. And I think that he's going to bring a little bit more of a relaxed vibe to this Celtics team because I always seem with the Celtics, Kyrie, we need to win because I'm LeBron, mini LeBron, but I have none of the great talent that LeBron does. That's a great Kyrie.
That was
spot on impression.
That was incredible.
And Al Horford was Mr. Professional, right? Where Enes Kanter might loosen up these young guys a little bit, which I'd be really excited to see.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Where with me when I looked at my rankings, it was Steven Adams, a guy that I fit into because it's everyone under Gasol. It's Steven Adams is a guy that kind of works like Brook Lopez, where he doesn't shoot threes, but he does something for the Thunder that I don't think he would do with any other team. Enes Kanter, questions about the just Celtics in general, and sometimes you need that guy, Like, we have an enforcer in the NHL. The NBA, sometimes you just need, I don't want to call him a goon, but it's like sometimes you need that guy where it's like, just cause problems. Get under people's skin. Get people out of the game.
Yep.
But that can't be your guy who's like your Steph Curry, your Kevin Durant.
You can't depend on him for 20 a night, you know?
Well, you don't, because if he gets in trouble, like foul trouble, you don't want that happening.
Draymond Green.
Bingo.
Yep.
I mean, that's the thing.
That works out well.
And you talk so much about, what do you mean?
No, I mean, like,
You said it in a sarcastic tone. So
No,
you're like,
it's-
that worked out well, but they also won 3 championships. So it's like, I don't know if you're being sarcastic.
him losing them a championship is what I'm saying. Because Ricky's whole argument about Draymond Green, had he not been tossed out of the game,
Yeah, they would have won.
Because he just ate right into the fucking...
Okay, let's throw that one championship out. They still have 3, and it's a lot.
Could have 4?
Could have had 4, yeah.
They could have had 4.
They should
But
no,
they also
not
could have.
should have.
They also could have had
He bit.
none.
Should have
Hey,
had
Bit
4.
on the bait.
They could have
Shoulda.
had none if Derrick
but
Derrick
the
Favors.
golden
If
boy
Draymond
LeBron
Green
doesn't
wasn't
get in trouble.
If Draymond Green wasn't there, they might not have won any of them. So
Yeah.
and also they wouldn't have KD.
It's true. It's true.
Anyways, I do think that enforcer is needed, and Adams can bring that. Kanter can bring that.
Adam's going to get rebounds this year? Like, is it
I
a
don't know.
foregone conclusion to say this man's going to double his rebound total from last year? You know?
I'd hope so, but also like, I don't think they're gonna get shots up for him to rebound. I think he's like, there's gonna be no offensive boards because one, Russ ain't missing because there's no Russ on the team.
When you got somebody shooting above 30% from 3 on
And
volume,
Hamidou
it's like-
Diallo's just going to jam
Well,
it.
that's
So,
the
like,
thing is like,
they're just
it's-
athletic.
I think it's either gonna be, you have efficient shooters in Chris Paul and Shai Gilgeous. There's not gonna be a lot of offensive boards going around, or they're just horrible players and they're just gonna get their shit stuffed every single time. So. Yeah, I don't know if he's going to get offensive boards, but defensively, yeah, probably.
yeah.
I don't know.
I'm excited for him.
Like, Gallinari's not going to take fucking boards away from him. So
Yeah.
I'm excited for him, but I don't think we're going to see great Steven Adams again. And here's the thing is, if he does play well, he might be a trade bait. And if I'm looking at this, and obviously it's shown by our rankings, if I have to look at Steven Adams' contract or Hassan Whiteside's contract, I understand Whiteside's coming up more, and he's done
he's
it
all
this year,
finished this year.
where Adams is not. I might rather have that Adams deal because Adams is a better player. So
Yep.
if he can show that he can, get back up to double-digit boards, I think he probably was even over that. If he can get up to 13 boards and probably be near a league leading, I wouldn't be shocked by that. But Adams
he
did
was at
fall off a little bit
9.5 this
defensively.
year.
Yeah.
Not terrible.
But what was he like before?
No, literally, this year he had his most rebounds at 9.5.
Really?
Yeah.
What was
It's
he? What was he
surprising.
pre-MVP Russ? So 2016, 2017. What was he? 2015, 2016.
16, 17 was
No,
7 boards
what was
and
2015,
6.7.
16?
He's just gotten better every year.
Really?
Yeah.
What was it
It's a myth, apparently. Even I bought into it a little bit in my head.
What's
But-
per 36?
What's the blockout ratio for rebounds?
There has to be some truth.
We need
to this.
like a box out ratio.
All right, so 2015, 2016, pre-MVP Russ, 6.7. But he was playing 25 minutes a game.
Yeah, he was heavily split minutes.
So, yeah, he's at 9.5. And
Yeah.
per 36 for this year was 10.3. So, yeah. Myth.
If you take away the box outs per game, like this man's probably putting up Andre Drummond rebounds.
Myth busted. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, other than that, I think that does it for 11 through 20, right? I had fun.
The only other thing, and this is because we didn't bring it up during 1 through 10 because we recorded these out of order.
Starving.
You know what's the only sad part about these rankings?
What's that?
Boogie in 2016 ranked number 1.
Yeah, I don't care.
Year 2 he was ranked number 2.
Because you guys are
Then
idiots.
top 5. Then he was number
Y'all put
4.
Cat number 1 that you're just gonna toss out there.
Then he was 4, and now because of injuries, not even on the
Yeah, because that's the
top
only reason he's
center,
out this year.
and
Because if
now
he was
he's
healthy,
completely
he'd
off.
totally be playing.
I mean,
yeah, it would.
yeah,
Yeah.
he would.
No, he wouldn't.
Yeah, he would.
I don't think he
No,
would.
he legitimately would.
He would not be playing 82. He'd definitely be suspended.
He'd be
They're
suspended,
not
but he
putting
wouldn't be out long.
they're not putting somebody out there that is like, "Hey, I'm going to put a bullet in your head, bitch." I think that's what it is. I think that's
He's a
verbatim
little
for what he said.
passionate.
Might have even bet a little bit more
Is
foul
Smidge
than that.
passionate?
Here's a fun snippet for you.
He
What's
would
more
miss
fun than
games.
domestic
No.
violence and
Yeah.
threats.
No.
He would
not
miss games.
fun
I'm
than
not
that.
arguing or not whatever. I'm not trying to sympathize for him. I'm just saying the fact that the NBA isn't exactly the most harsh on coming down on guys.
It's not the NFL.
Yeah,
It's not
No
shit.
one is.
so like
The only one that kind of is the MLB. But the MLB is just like, if you're even accused, you're done for
Yep.
at least 25.
Yeah.
Which is fair. Fuck it.
So-
I'd rather suspend them than have it up in the air.
that year Dave talked about where it's like, you guys put Cat at 1. Oh, no. The reason why he was where he was, I had DeMarcus at 3 that year. Guess who I had at 2?
Dirk?
No.
He was higher on
I
someone
was
than
higher
you.
on someone than you, surprisingly.
Oh, Jokic.
Yeah. I had Jokic at 2, and you and Dave had him
Sean's
at
eyes are
3.
just...
Why did you do that?
2017.
He's
you
Ricky,
Cat,
man.
DeMarcus, Jokic. I
Half
had
the time
Cat,
you don't
Jokic
understand
cousins.
why, but he's
Hell,
from the future.
I was on him before you were.
Congratulate Ricky. I'll give you the standing clap.
Ricky goes Nostradamus
And then
on some shit.
the next year, Jokic was at 6.
Yep. Makes sense. Has a better year? Tank him. Fuck him. Fuck him. And let's go
Well,
to that.
and Embiid was there that year. And-
yeah. Oh yeah.
and AD was back.
was in there, so of course, yeah. But here, let's go to. Is it that rankings? No. Let's go to.
Y'all
Oh no,
are
it's power
just
forward.
terrible.
Let's go to the power forward rankings for 2018 because I didn't bring this up and I want to bring it up. Who was your 7th power forward in front of LaMarcus Aldridge
Dirty
and
Dirk,
Blake
baby.
Griffin?
Dirty Dirk. Dirk-alicious definition
I'm sorry.
makes the boys
I'm
go
sorry.
loco.
Yeah, so if you're not understanding this, Dirk Nowitzki was above LaMarcus Aldridge, Blake Griffin, and fucking Tobias Harris,
And
and Marvin Bagley
and
was
Bagley
above
at 12.
Tobias Harris, Paul Millsap, and fucking my boy Derrick Favors.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
I had Caleb at 4.
This is a
we all
time
had
machine.
Caleb at 4.
Well, yeah, because we thought Fat Caleb was going to feast again.
I was gonna.
Yeah, we did. Well,
You know,
they
he's going to keep getting broken.
Yeah, that was post LeBron. They gave him the extensions. We're like, he's back.
Mm-hmm.
He's putting up
Yeah.
20 and 20.
Easy.
I think I said that on the podcast.
Yep.
So he was going to put up 20 and 20. Fat Caleb, well, not Skinny Caleb was 4-2 in our 2017 one. So we kind
Yeah.
of just kept that the same. He beat out Melo. Oh shit! Oh man! All right. Shout out Chris Bosh, who was 7 on our 2016 power forwards. All right, this is coming off the rails. I just want to see if there's anything stupid too. Let's just go back to 2016.
For centers?
Yeah, nothing crazy. Marcus Gasol was 10. He's still 10 now. So shout out to that. Nerlens Noel was 17, right below Jokic.
Nice.
In 2016. 2017. Anything stand out here? No, nothing. Yeah, centers is kind of boring. It's just kind of stayed the same outside of that finding that Ricky was higher on Nikola Jokic than I was. So shout out to Ricky. We'll have to go rewatch that.
Yeah.
So anyways, let us know your thoughts on 11 through 20. These are clearly obviously fun. We could do a whole podcast on just what we used to do.
Yeah.
Joakim Noah was 30 in 2017. And
He deserved that.
but here's the thing. I think he might be
He
he might be like 25 this year.
I would absolutely put him 25 this year.
And he's
better.
not on a team yet. Someone get on that shit. Jokic was
He stomped the end of last year for the Memphis Grizzlies.
Joakim Noah was low-key dirty.
He got a wet boy.
He did get a wet boy. He was nasty last year. Anyways, let us know your thoughts, 11 through 20. Ricky seems to be upset that we haven't ended this yet.
Oh, no.
But anyways.
Not even at all.
Let's move in. We do it for 50 minutes? Jesus Christ.